Welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going on an interesting journey, actually. We're going to be exploring how scientific theories and philosophical ideas have shaped military thinking.
Yeah.
Your sources are a real goldmine
Yeah.
of excerpts from academic papers.
Okay.
And mainly focusing on two giants of military theory, Karl von Clausewitz and JFC Fuller. What's really interesting is how their ideas about warfare were so deeply influenced by the scientific and philosophical shifts that were happening all around them.
It's almost like you can't separate the fields.
Right.
You know, science, philosophy, military strategy,
Yeah.
they're all informing each other constantly. And so we'll see how figures like Newton, Darwin, Kant had their ideas about force, knowledge, even the very structure of the universe, like woven into the ways that wars were fought.
Yeah, it's not just a dry history lesson. It's really about seeing these surprising connections and how they change the way we think about conflict.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
Starting with Newtonian science.
Okay.
This whole thing kind of kicks off with a major shift in our worldview, right?
Absolutely. Picture this. It's 1543.
Okay.
Copernicus publishes his revolution of the heavenly orbs.
Yeah.
Boom! Suddenly, we're not the center of the universe anymore. The Earth revolves around the sun. And that was radical for the time. And it really set the stage for this scientific revolution that culminated in Newton's Principia Mathematica.
So Newton's work was a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how these ideas of a mechanistic universe governed by these predictable laws went on to impact so many different fields.
Exactly.
It's like people were suddenly seeing the world as this giant clock, just ticking away with perfect precision.
Yeah, Newton established this idea of a universe governed by laws of motion and gravity. You know, it's like this majestic clockwork. Everything's ordered, predictable, and this Newtonian framework had huge implications. And military thinking was no exception.
So how did this clockwork universe idea actually find its way onto the battlefield? I mean, it seems like kind of a big leap. From planets and gravity to, you know, actual war.
Well, it is, but the connection is there, and this is where Karl von Clausewitz comes in.
Okay.
Brilliant military theorist, wrote on war in the 19th century.
Okay.
Now, Clausewitz was heavily influenced by Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher who really grappled with this fallout of the Enlightenment. And Kant proposed this idea of a dual universe. The physical realm explainable through science. And the moral realm where human judgment and free will operate.
Ah, so there's like this parallel between Kant's dual universe and how Clausewitz actually viewed war. It's like you can try to make war predictable with these rules and strategies. But then you have this unpredictable human element thrown into the mix.
That's a great way to put it. Clausewitz understood that warfare is shaped by both these calculable factors, things like force and friction.
So friction being all those...
Yeah, think of friction as all those unexpected snags that pop up.
Ah, I see.
But also these unpredictable elements, human emotions, chance occurrences, you name it.
So he even used these vivid metaphors, right? Like centers of gravity, those crucial points in an enemy's power.
Exactly.
And absolute war, this theoretical concept of unrestrained conflict.
And those metaphors help illustrate his key insight. Which is war is this complex interaction between rational calculation and unpredictable chaos. The Newtonian framework provided this sense of order and predictability, but Kant brought in the human element, the moral realm, that could make even the best laid plans fall apart.
This is really crucial, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It reminds us that even with all the technology and the planning in the world, warfare always comes down to people. And people are inherently unpredictable.
Absolutely. And that's why Clausewitz remains so relevant today. His theories highlight this enduring tension between order and chaos in warfare. A tension that's just as relevant in the 21st century as it was in the 19th.
So we've gone from planets and gravity to, you know, the complex realities of war. That's quite a journey.
It is.
And we can't talk about scientific influences on military thinking without mentioning Darwin, right? Survival of the fittest, all that jazz.
You're right. We can't. But it's important to distinguish Darwin's actual scientific theory from the way it was interpreted philosophically.
Right. And that's where Herbert Spencer comes in.
Exactly.
He's the one who coined the phrase survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And took Darwin's ideas in a whole new direction.
He did. He applied Darwin's theory of evolution, not just to biology, but to societies, even to the realm of warfare.
Right.
He saw the world as this constant struggle for survival, where the strong dominated and the weak perished.
So how did this Spencerian view, this social Darwinism, make its way into military thought? Was there someone who took those ideas and ran with them?
There was indeed. That's where J.F.C. Fuller comes in,
Great.
a 20th century military theorist.
Right.
Fuller was heavily influenced by Spencer's ideas. He viewed warfare through this evolutionary lens, seeing armies as complex systems constantly adapting and competing for dominance.
So Fuller was basically looking at war as this Darwinian struggle.
That's a good way to put it.
Played out on a global scale.
Yeah.
It's almost like he saw nations as organisms, battling it out for resources and territory.
That's a good way to put it. Fuller believed future wars would be dominated by technology and maneuverability. He was a big advocate for tanks and mechanized warfare, seeing them as the embodiment of this evolutionary drive for adaptation and dominance.
So he sounds like a visionary, but also someone who might have believed in the idea that might make, I mean, applying survival of the fittest to warfare can get a little ethically murky.
We won't delve into those ethical debates today, but you raise an important point.
Okay.
While Fuller's theories were insightful, they were grounded in a scientific framework that was about to go through a major upheaval.
Wait, what do you mean, what kind of upheaval?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The early 20th century saw some groundbreaking discoveries in science that challenged the very foundations of the Newtonian worldview.
You're talking about Einstein and relativity, right? That whole idea that time and space aren't absolute. I remember learning about that in school, and it totally blew my mind.
Einstein's theories of relativity, along with the rise of quantum mechanics, completely changed our understanding of the universe.
Yeah.
The clockwork universe suddenly became a lot less clockworky.
And
a lot more mysterious.
So the old Newtonian model that influenced Clausewitz and even Fuller was starting to crumble. So what happened next? How did these new scientific paradigms reshape military thinking?
Well, that's a question we'll explore in detail in the next part of our deep dive. But suffice it to say, the stage was set for a major shift in how we perceive warfare, a shift that continues to this day.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
Okay. So we're back. And ready to dive into how these new scientific paradigms, relativity and quantum mechanics, really shook things up in the world of military thought.
It's almost like the neatly ordered Newtonian universe where everything ticked along predictably suddenly became a whole lot more complex and uncertain. You know, imagine swapping out a perfectly predictable clock for something more like a chaotic weather system. Where tiny changes can have these huge, unpredictable effects.
Yeah, that's a wild image. So the deterministic cause and effect view of the world started to give way to something more probabilistic. And interconnected.
Precisely. And this had a massive impact on how we view complex systems. Take warfare, for example. You've got multiple players, ever-changing environments, incomplete information. It's this chaotic dance between order and chaos.
It's like trying to play a game of chess while riding a roller coaster. You're trying to strategize, but the ground keeps shifting beneath you.
That's a great analogy.
The
Newtonian framework just couldn't fully capture that messy, unpredictable reality. It worked well for predicting the motion of planets, but warfare is a whole other beast.
So how did military thinkers adapt
to
this new understanding of complexity? I mean, did they completely abandon the old Newtonian ideas?
It wasn't a complete abandonment, more like a gradual shift in emphasis. You can still see traces of that Newtonian mindset in what we call macro military theory.
Macro military theory. That sounds pretty intense.
It's not that futuristic.
Yeah.
Think of it as the continuation of traditional military thought. It focuses on large-scale operations.
Okay.
Physical destruction, those classic principles of war
Right.
that Clausewitz outlined. It's the realm of tanks, artillery, massive troop movements, what we've traditionally pictured when we think of warfare.
Okay, so macro military theory is the big picture view.
Exactly.
The clash of armies on a grand scale.
Yeah.
But what about the micro-military side of things?
Right.
How did those groundbreaking discoveries in physics, relativity, and quantum mechanics influence that?
Well, these new scientific paradigms brought about a whole new way of thinking about force information and how systems are connected. This led to the development of what we call micromilitary theory.
Micromilitary theory.
Yeah.
So are we talking about tiny soldiers fighting microscopic battles now?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's a shift in focus from overwhelming force to more subtle and sophisticated forms of warfare.
Okay.
Think cyber warfare, electronic warfare, information operations, disrupting an enemy's systems, their networks, their decision-making process. It's about targeting the flow of information, the neural pathways of warfare, so to speak.
It's like the difference between smashing a computer with a hammer and planting a virus in its software.
Exactly.
Right. One is brute force. The other is about exploiting vulnerabilities within the system itself.
Exactly. And this micromilitary perspective is becoming more and more relevant today.
Right.
In a world where information is power, where technology can be a weapon, these subtle forms of warfare are often more decisive than sheer firepower.
So we've got these two approaches to warfare, macro-military and micro-military.
Right.
It's like these two scientific paradigms coexisting.
Yeah.
Each offering a different lens to view conflict. It makes me wonder, do they ever clash?
That's a great question, and it reflects a larger trend in science itself.
Okay.
Even though the Newtonian worldview has been challenged, it still holds true for certain types of phenomena.
Yeah.
Especially at the macroscopic level.
Right.
It's not that Newton got everything wrong.
Right.
His model was just incomplete.
It's like with Clausewitz.
Exactly.
His theories are still incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
But they need to be considered alongside these newer perspectives on complexity, information warfare, and this rapid evolution of technology.
Exactly. Understanding this duality, this interplay between the old and the new, is crucial for anyone trying to make sense of warfare in the 21st century.
Right.
We need to be able to zoom out and see the big picture, the clash of armies and ideologies, but also zoom in and understand the intricate ways technology and information are shaping the battle space.
This all makes sense.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're missing something.
Okay.
If we're talking about new scientific paradigms, shouldn't we be looking at things like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, genetic engineering?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Those are crucial areas of exploration, and they definitely warrant their own deep dive in the future.
Okay.
But they all point to the same underlying theme.
Yeah.
The way scientific advancements shape our understanding of war, just like those groundbreaking discoveries of the past from Copernicus to Newton to Darwin shaped the military thinking of their time. The scientific frontiers of today are going to shape the wars of tomorrow.
That's both exciting and a little terrifying. It makes you wonder what those future battlefields will look like.
Yeah.
Will it be all about autonomous drones, cyber attacks, and genetically enhanced super soldiers?
Right.
Or are there completely unimaginable forms of warfare lurking just beyond the horizon?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's one we can't answer definitively.
Right.
But one thing is certain. The scientific and philosophical frameworks we use to understand the world will inevitably shape how we perceive and engage in conflict.
So as we delve into these emerging scientific frontiers, it's not just about understanding the technological possibilities.
Right.
It's also about the ethical implications, the strategic consequences, and what these advancements mean for the future of warfare and humanity itself.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We can't blindly embrace these technological leaps without seriously considering their potential impact.
Right.
We're talking about powerful tools that could be used for good or for ill.
Right.
It's our responsibility to ensure they're used wisely.
That's a sobering thought and a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground from the Newtonian clockwork universe to the complex, interconnected world of modern warfare.
We've seen how scientific and philosophical ideas have shaped the way we think about conflict, from Clausewitz's Newtonian view of force and friction to Fuller's Darwinian take on adaptation and survival.
Right.
And we've recognized that these older paradigms are being challenged by newer scientific frameworks that emphasize complexity, uncertainty, and the interconnectedness of systems.
And most importantly, we've recognized that both the old and the new have something to offer.
Exactly.
Understanding the duality of these perspectives is essential for making sense of modern warfare.
Precisely. And as we move forward, it's crucial to remember that the scientific and philosophical landscapes are constantly evolving.
Right.
Our understanding of warfare must evolve along with them.
Now, we've journeyed through centuries of ideas and theories, but there's still so much to explore. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll venture into those emerging scientific frontiers. You mentioned artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and more.
Yeah.
We'll consider their potential impact on the future of warfare and what they mean for us as a species. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
We've been exploring how scientific and philosophical breakthroughs have really shaped military thinking throughout history.
Yeah.
Now it's time to step into the future.
Okay.
And explore some of those emerging scientific frontiers that could totally redefine warfare as we know it.
And as we venture into this uncharted territory, it's crucial to remember that these aren't just abstract scientific concepts.
Right.
They have real-world implications that could shape the conflicts of tomorrow and the very future of our species.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, it's everywhere these days.
Right.
We've got self-driving cars, algorithms predicting our shopping habits, even those really accurate recommendations on streaming services. But how might AI transform warfare?
Right.
I mean, it seems like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound like science fiction, but the potential is very real.
Yeah.
Imagine autonomous drones capable of making split-second decisions on the battlefield, coordinating attacks with a speed and precision that surpasses human capabilities.
Wow.
Imagine AI systems sifting through mountains of data to identify patterns, predict enemy movements, and even anticipate potential threats before they materialize.
So we're not just talking about smarter weapons.
Right.
We're talking about a whole new level of warfare.
Yeah.
Where battles are fought at speeds and scales that are beyond human comprehension.
Right.
It's almost like we're handing over the reins of conflict to machines.
That's a key concern, and it raises a host of ethical and strategic dilemmas.
Right.
If a machine makes a life or death decision on the battlefield, who's ultimately responsible? How do we ensure that these AI systems operate within the bounds of human morality and international law?
Yeah.
And how do we prevent an AI arms race that could spiral out of control?
Those are some heavy questions.
They are.
It seems like AI has the potential to both revolutionize warfare, but also make it even more unpredictable and potentially devastating.
Absolutely.
We're not just talking about a new type of weapon.
Yeah.
We're talking about a fundamental shift in the nature of conflict itself.
You've hit the nail on the head. AI is unlike any weapon we've seen before.
Right.
It's a technology that learns, adapts, and potentially even evolves, and that makes it both incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous.
Right.
We need to be having these conversations now before these technologies mature and become widely deployed. The stakes are simply too high to ignore.
AI is definitely a game changer.
It is.
But what about quantum computing?
Right.
I've heard that term thrown around, but it's still a bit of a mystery to me.
It is mind-boggling stuff, but incredibly fascinating.
Okay.
Quantum computers harness these bizarre laws of quantum mechanics to perform calculations that are simply impossible for traditional computers.
Yeah.
Imagine solving in seconds problems that would take a normal computer millions of years to crack.
Okay. That's seriously impressive.
Yeah.
But how does this translate to military applications?
Right.
I mean, it still seems pretty theoretical.
Think about encryption.
Okay.
The security of our digital communications, financial systems, military networks.
Right.
It all relies on these complex algorithms that are incredibly difficult to crack.
Right.
But a sufficiently powerful quantum computer could potentially render these current encryption methods obsolete.
So a country with a quantum computer could basically spy on everyone else's communications, steal secrets, even critical infrastructure.
Potentially.
That sounds like it could completely reshape
It could.
the balance of power in the world.
Exactly. Information is power, and quantum computing could give those who possess it an unprecedented advantage in the realm of information warfare.
Right.
But it goes beyond code breaking.
Okay.
Quantum computers could also revolutionize other aspects of warfare. Think about optimizing logistics and troop movements, designing new materials for weapon systems, even simulating complex battle scenarios with incredible accuracy.
Wow. It sounds like quantum computing could touch almost every aspect of warfare.
It really could.
It's both exciting and a little terrifying.
It is.
To think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered AI and quantum computing. Are there any other emerging scientific frontiers we should be aware of?
Well, we can't forget about biotechnology and genetic engineering.
Ah, yes, the realm of designer soldiers and bioweapons.
Right.
Straight out of a science fiction novel.
It might sound like science fiction, but the potential is there.
Yeah.
Imagine soldiers with enhanced strength, stamina, resistance to disease, even augmented cognitive abilities. Yeah. Imagine viruses tailored to target specific populations, even individuals.
Wow.
These technologies raise a whole new set of ethical and security concerns.
This is getting pretty intense.
It is.
Feels like we're stepping into a whole new realm of ethical dilemmas.
We are.
And potential unintended consequences.
And that's why it's so crucial to be having these conversations now before these technologies become widely available.
Right.
We need to think about international treaties, ethical guidelines, safeguards to prevent these powerful tools from being misused or leading to catastrophic outcomes.
Yeah.
We're talking about the future of warfare, but also the future of humanity itself.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Where these amazing scientific advancements are offering us both immense possibilities and potential existential threats.
Precisely. And the choices we make today will shape the world we inherit tomorrow.
Right.
We need to approach these new technologies with a sense of responsibility, foresight, and a deep understanding of their potential consequences.
Well, this deep dive has been a whirlwind of ideas and insights.
It has.
I'm leaving with a mix of awe at the possibilities, but also a healthy dose of apprehension about the potential dangers.
That's a perfectly natural reaction.
Right.
We've glimpsed a future where the very nature of warfare might be transformed by technologies that seem ripped from the pages of science fiction.
Yeah.
But we've also recognized this profound responsibility we have to guide these advancements wisely, ethically, and with a deep understanding of their potential consequences.
It's a reminder that while we might be fascinated by military theory and the possibilities of scientific progress, it's our shared humanity that should guide our decisions.
Absolutely.
The future of warfare, and indeed the future of our species, depends on it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
We can't lose sight of our humanity amidst all the technological marvels.
Yeah.
Science and philosophy are powerful forces, and it's up to us to ensure they're used to create a better future, not a more destructive one.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the history and future of warfare.
It's been fun.
It's been a thought-provoking exploration of how science, philosophy, and human choices shape the conflicts that define our world.
They do.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Exploring new ideas, new insights, and those unexpected connections that make life so endlessly fascinating.
I'm looking forward to it.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.